Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our regular meeting of the Irving City Council for October 2nd, 2025. It's truly a pleasure to have each and every one of you with us. Do we have any organizational service announcements, Shanae?
No, sir.
Thank you. If you would please stand, the invocation this evening will be given by the Pastor Keith Luttrell of the Christ Church here in Irving. Good evening, Pastor.
God, thank you so much for the opportunity to serve you, to be here tonight, for the freedom that we have in our country. We admit that you are a great God and that we fall way short. But we are so thankful for your forgiveness and for your grace. And I ask that your hand be upon this time tonight. And it's in your Son's name we pray. Amen.
Thank you. If you'd please remain standing, Mayor Pro Tem Block will lead us in the pledges.
Please face the flags, put your hand over your heart, and recite the pledges with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, John. At this time, we have some proclamations, so I'll join those down in the front. October is Pedestrian Safety Month. Proclamation. October is recognized nationally as Pedestrian Safety Month to raise awareness about pedestrian safety and promote safe walking environment within our community. And whereas the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration reminds us that at one time or another, everyone is a pedestrian, and that safe behaviors, including maintaining safe speeds, yielding to pedestrians, and exercising caution in difficult conditions, helps create safer environment for pedestrians, protecting residents, visitors, and loved ones. And whereas the City of Irving is committed to fostering a safe and welcoming environment for pedestrians of all ages and ability through education, enforcement, and community engagement. And whereas drivers play a critical role in pedestrian safety by adhering to the key safety practices, including looking out for pedestrians, yielding to pedestrians in crosswalks, avoiding driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs, following speed limits, especially near school and neighborhoods, and exercising caution when backing up. And whereas pedestrians also contribute to their safety by following traffic rules and signals, walking on crosswalks, walk facing traffic if no sidewalks exist, crossing streets at crosswalks and intersections, watching for vehicles entering and exiting driveways or parking lots, and embracing walking as a healthy, active form of transportation. Now, therefore, I, Rick Stouffer, Mayor of the City of Irving, and the Irving City Council, do hereby proclaim the month of October 2025 as Pedestrian Safety Month in Irving, Texas.
Thank you, Mayor. We do appreciate it. I want to let everybody know that we're experiencing a 20% decrease in fatality accidents this year, and I think that is attributed to these men and women that we have working for the police department. They work extremely hard, and we're very proud of them. And just encourage everyone to slow down, put your cell phones down, pay attention. We really would appreciate it. Thank you.
Please join us. We have the contest winners from the disability, so you'll be announcing the winners?
Yes, that's correct. Good evening. In celebration of Disability Awareness Month, Irving's Advisory Committee on Disabilities developed the Disability Poster Contest. Now, Irving ISD, Parks and Recreation, and the Advisory Committee partnered to sponsor the annual contest, which is open to all fourth grade students in Irving. The contest was designed to promote public awareness and understanding of the obstacles faced by people living with disabilities, as well as celebrating their many accomplishments and abilities. So we received several creative entries this year from very talented students, and the City Council members and I would like to recognize those chosen to receive honorable mention and first place for their entries. So 3 posters were chosen to receive honorable mention. When I call your name, please come down to the front and line up behind me here on stage. So first is Sophie J. Alas. At this time, it is my pleasure to announce the students receiving first place honors, and I ask them to join us on the stage as well when your name is called. Daniel Hernandez. Abigail Lemus. And Rebecca Aviles. Please join me in congratulating all these talented artists. So we'll take a couple of pictures with everyone here on the stage, and then we can proceed up the aisle for a couple more shots by the posters. The posters will be on display around the corner following the meeting. If any one of you would like to take a look, I encourage you to do so. Thank you very much and have a good evening. Congratulations. Good job.
And congratulations to all the winners. Great job. That brings us to the next item on our agenda, which is the public comment. Sinead, do we have residents who would like to speak?
We do, Mayor. We have a few, not too many. Public comments provide the opportunity to our citizens to address the council on items that are not listed on the regular agenda. The council will listen, but they will not respond as they are restricted from deliberation by the Texas Open Meeting Act. While the mayor and council may not respond, you are welcome to contact them directly. Their phone numbers and emails are listed on the website, and a meeting can be requested. If your comments require a response, the follow-up will be handled by the communications team or whomever Mr. Hillman points to. Each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes. I will let you know when 1 minute is left. Please state your name and address prior to your comments. A professional presentation is requested. Any handouts we wish to provide the council members should be given to the police officers on either side of the chambers. Do not approach the dais. Our first speaker is Teresa Gahan, followed by Mahesh Adabahata.
Hello, my name is Teresa Gann. I live at 801 McCoy Drive, Irving, Texas. I currently teach high school English and middle school history, and I'm here to speak about the sexually explicit content in the YA section of the public libraries. You may have heard it said that a picture is worth 1,000 words. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you need 1,000 words to create a picture. In fact, some of the most vivid images in my mind were told in very few words. I still remember from my childhood Roald Dahl's description of the moonbeam in his children's story, The BFG, which, he writes, was like a silver blade slicing through the room onto her face. And I find Ezra Pound's image of the faces in a crowded metro, like petals on a wet black bough, often call to mind. That's the nature of powerful images. They appear and reappear, and some, try as we might, can never be fully erased. As an English teacher, I've curated a classroom library from which students can pick books they're interested in reading on their own time. But I am very careful with the books I make available to them, precisely because I know how permanent images can become and how impressionable children are. Indeed, some of my favorite books I would not make available to my students, because I do not want to risk harming their minds and memories. Children and minors need protecting. Gone are the days where young kids can roam around town independently, and parents can trust they will be home in time for dinner unharmed. It would be nice to at least keep our libraries organized in such a way where parents could let their children roam free in designated sections without the anxiety of their kids being exposed to sexual images. Thank you.
Thank you. Mahesh Adahata, followed by Vicki Norman.
Mahesh Adibatla, 3030 Ivy Hill Lane, Irving, Texas 75063. Respected Mayor and members of Council, good evening. I would like to bring to your attention the concerning rise in robbery attempts within our neighborhood, Parkside. Over the past 6 months, there have been more than 4 such attempts. Most recently, which was just 2 days ago, an armed individual with a gun forcefully entered a home. Fortunately, the homeowner managed to escape unharmed by bravely extricating himself from the situation and seeking help. While we commend his courage, we must recognize that not everyone may be able to respond with such presence of mind. And sadly, not all incidents end as safely. Although Parkside has an active neighborhood watch program and our residents remain vigilant, we humbly request this council to consider increased police patrolling in our area. A visible police presence would serve as a strong deterrent to such criminal activity, especially as we approach the holiday season when such incidents are known to escalate. In closing, we seek your support in ensuring the safety and peace of mind of Parkside families. A collaborative effort between our residents and the Irving Police Department will go a long way in building a safer and more secure community for all. Thank you.
Mahesh, thank you so much for coming down. We definitely appreciate it. If you have a few minutes right now, our police chief, Derek Miller, is in the back.
Absolutely.
He'd be happy to meet with you and talk a little bit more about your thoughts.
I'll hang around. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Our next speaker is Vicki Norman, followed by Michael Burney.
My name is Vicki Norman. I reside at 1015 Sleepy Hollow Drive, and I'm here to talk about the library and the recent modification project, which is a complete failure. Here's the numbers, if you can put on the scanner, the projector. Who is in charge of the projector there? I just want to show people at home that we've had 230 books moved, mature books identified by the library at a cost of $180,000 to go through these books. These books are not really moved, as they are now called YA Plus and still in or near the YA area, except for at West where they're across the lobby. And not only that, the part of the collection modification project was to monitor new book purchases. And new book purchases, the numbers are up in all the controversial areas. For instance, children and YA, LGBTQ is up 54% and 21.5% respectively. Children's and YA gender are up 16 and 20%, and children's and YA transgender 18 and 16%. While books on STDs are down in all age groups from 7 to 86%, categories like transgender objections, pro-life, STDs, abstinence, fetal development, crisis pregnancy center are virtually non-existent. And books on Christianity in YA mostly mock Christianity. And there are more books on LGBTQ and YA than Christianity, Islam, or Hindu combined. We have not been for book banning ever. We've stated this many times to council that we are not against characters in book that identify diversely. We are against harmful, sexually explicit materials to minors. Well, since the May 2025, I'm sorry?
1 minute.
Thank you. 2025, we are not required to purchase obscene books that violate profanity and decency laws. The city is not required to purchase these or keep them in the minors area of the library. And as of September 1st, Senate Bill 412 deleted the educational defense for librarians and teachers in the Texas Penal Code's harmful materials to minors to carry sexually explicit materials. So they do not have that defense any longer and may be held responsible for some of these materials. So very quickly, what can we do to salvage this collection modification project is move these books out of the YA and YA plus area. These books are still listed in the catalog as YA and YA plus so that they can make sure they can find them. Thank you.
Michael Burney, followed by Jefferson Braga. Michael Burney, come on up.
Hey folks, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Name's Jefferson Braga. Got my boy here, Ferris Braga. Brought him out for the first time just to see what it's like in council. Today we're sharing peas. So if anybody's looking for some good seeds for the fall, come get some on the way out. All right. Another thing, you may reach out to us anytime if you're looking for any seeds at all. Peas. We're particularly focused this season on sunflowers. You'll see a trailer full of sunflower seeds that have bolted and gone to seed instead of the beautiful sunflowers. Now they're at seed mode, and a little petal basically goes into 50 to 100 different plants. So welcome you guys to grab some on the trailer, on the anytime you see us. But also if you're a church or a community that would like sunflowers, mustard greens, what else? Dill. We have also a lamb's quarter, which is a vegetable that not many people are aware of, but it's high in zinc and very nutritious. Those are going to seed as well, and we're literally loading up a trailer with it and spreading them around town. So if you see them, don't kill them. Let them grow, let them go to seed, and share it with your community. I've shared it with a few communities. I dropped it off at the back dumpster, and then the neighborhood basically comes in and collects that. So it's a good cause, and I welcome you guys to reach out and get your communities growing yourselves. Another thing that I'd like to share is something I see coming across Irving quite a bit, not so much on the private side or in the park side, but very much so on the HOA side, where they're paying whoever can do the job of mulching up their trees. This obviously parks could help, and parks might have a way to make this work even better, where they could actually come in, spread this, and put perennial seeds of flowers and bluebonnet and things like that, and beautify that little section right there. But if you see right here, actually, let's go one more. So if you see there, and you'll see this up at Valley Ranch quite a bit. Over on 114, there's quite a few HOAs that whoever they hired, they did that to the trees right there. That's a foot of mulch climbing up that tree. I've done the same mistake myself. I've killed many trees actually like that, and so I know that tree is probably going to die in 2 to 3 years if you leave it like that. So whoever installed it, they put money towards it, and then they put money towards maintaining it. But they're really doing it the wrong way, and that's almost 3 times the mulch that you need on that tree. Another thing to kind of call out between the parks and the different folks at Landscape, maybe this
1 minute left.
Thank you. This is a bit of a PSA, that we can send out, is the leaves themselves. A lot of people go through a lot of trouble of collecting them, but you could really do, if we leave the leaves, it actually mulches that area and gives it the nutrients that tree needs at the radius that it needs, right? That the tree's roots basically is going to be as wide as the tree itself. So as above, so below is what you're going to see over there. And I'll show you a couple examples right there. That's another tree. This is it was literally 40 trees, beautiful trees, and bushes as well, And so just calling that out. I enjoy the council meetings and everything that I hear here. And last time I was up here, the naughty books were still up on the agenda. You know, it'd be good to just just vote it up to be taken care of. Maybe Councilman Pfaff could just go in there and just remove them. You know, and it's that simple. There's quite a few things like this. So God bless you all. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Thanks.
Final speaker is Michael Burney. Awesome.
Gentlemen, Michael Burney here, same address as ever. Peace. To those who know what I'm referring to, legally, no question, I've been damaged. I don't want to approach the legal way. I don't have the money, the time, the energy. This world today is in, how shall I say, transition. People are eating each other alive. All the comments you hear about, well, somebody got their head cut off next door and raped the children, etc. The rest of the world's at war. Now, the answer to all of our problems, yeah, you heard it when your grandmother took you to Sunday school when you were a little kid. Love your brother as yourself. I won't say, well, maybe one thing. And if loving your brother's a little bit of a stretch, if we just quit killing each other, that would be a good start. Now, I'm here in peace. I would like to sit down reasonably and seek justice. Justice is a good thing. It can be arrived at when men come together of one mind and one heart with the intention to work together. This is how humans come together and creativity flows and answers are come to. Innovation. In the world we're in today, everybody's fighting. Shit. Anyway, I want to talk about our issue. Now, let me put it this way. And whether you can understand it or not, I don't care. If one person is harmed, a wrong is done, the old sages a long time ago said, it hurts everybody. Modern science just got a Nobel Prize for spooky particle motion at a distance. It's what used to be the sages talking in faith is now scientific fact. We're all interconnected.
3
Our
minutes.
thoughts. Anyway, I've run out of time. I want to sit down and settle this issue between us like men. We can rise above our differences.
Three minutes, thank you.
Adios.
Chris, do we have a city operations update?
No, sir.
Okay, that brings us to our next item, which is our consent agenda items, which is items 2 through 29. I'd entertain a motion.
Motion for approval?
We have a motion and a second. Would you please vote? And it passes unanimously. The next item is item number 30, which is a resolution approving a collective bargaining agreement between the City of Irving and the Irving Fire, and the Irving Professional Firefighters Association, Local 2073. I believe we have one person signed up on this.
Yes, sir. Brian Becker.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Tony, do my name and address before as well. Brian Becker.
Please.
Brian Becker, 1963 East Irving Boulevard. All right. Honorable Mayor, Council, and City staff, as President of the Irving Professional Firefighters Association, it is my honor to represent more than 400 men and women who proudly serve Irving's residents, visitors, and businesses. On behalf of those men and women, I stand before you here tonight in support of the agenda item up for consideration right now. What you're voting on is more than just a contract. It is a milestone in Irving's history. After several months of hard work with city management, we have before us the very first collective bargaining agreement for Irving's firefighters. The foundation for this moment was laid last November when roughly 40,000 residents voted to adopt Texas Local Government Code Chapter 174, granting firefighters the right to collectively bargain. I'm proud to report to you all that earlier this week, our personnel concluded voting on the agreement and overwhelmingly voted for approval. I'd like to touch on a couple other things for those in the chamber and those watching at home. This agreement is not just about firefighters. It's also about our community. For the first time ever, Irving has a clear and measurable path to achieving the nationally recognized standard of 4 firefighter staffing. This standard improves safety for those of us on the front lines and delivers stronger outcomes for those we serve, whether it's a fire, car accident, or any other type of emergency we respond to 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So nearly 2 years ago, when we began this effort, we set out with a couple clear goals in mind: to protect our people, strengthen our department, and serve our city responsibly. Tonight, I can proudly say we kept that promise. And so I'll close with this. This agreement represents progress. Progress for our firefighters, progress for our city, and progress for everyone that calls Irving home. Together, we are building a safer, stronger, and more prepared Irving.
1 minute left.
And that is something we can all be proud of. On behalf of the Irving Professional Firefighters Association, Local 2073 of the International Association of Firefighters, thank you all for your partnership, your trust, and your continued support of firefighters who serve this great city. Thank you all.
Thank you, Brian. I'd entertain a motion. Motion and a second. Would you please vote? And it passes unanimously. That brings us to our appointments.
Mayor?
Al, if you have a name for us.
Yes, I move to select Wes Mays, Mayor Capel, for Region 13, Director of the Texas Municipal League Board of Directors.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Would you please vote? And it passes unanimously. And that brings us to the end of our agenda. I want to thank everybody for being here this evening. We stand adjourned.